up, Panthers Nation? We got that win! Yeah! Over those Jacksonville Jaguars. At home. Feels good. Feels great. Feels fantastic to be 3-2 right now. Second place in the division. Falcons lost today. Bucks lost today. Which means we still have to deal with the Saints. We are right where we want to be again. Right on track. And I have to say, I am very pleasantly surprised by today's performance by this team. So let's dive into it, shall we? Let's dive into it. Quarterback A minus. I felt like he made some really good passes and managed the game really, really well. He noticed blitzes. He was able to adjust. He was able to get the ball out quicker in those situations. We got first downs. We got DJ Moore involved. I was very, very pleased at how much we were able to accomplish today from an offensive standpoint. Of course, we still have a lot of work to do, but most of that was because of our offensive line giving us time to get stuff done and to get wins, to get points on the board, and just overall keep it rolling. So I'm very, very pleased. But, there's always room for improvement, so A minus. Very great, I believe, for what he was able to do today. Running back, A plus. I don't know how much more you could want from Christian McCaffrey. The man's an animal. The man's an absolute animal. Can we just buy this guy an entire buffet? Like, seriously. He's earned it. Just, holy cow, man. Just give him an entire buffet. Let the man eat. Let the man eat. 237 yards, are you kidding me? Holy cow. Remind me again who y'all wanted us to draft? For who? I've never heard of that guy. After today. I'm sorry, but I gotta rub this one in. Because every single one of y'all that wanted Fournette is eating crow right now. I'm talking about this is 2 straight amazing performances from C-Mac. I don't know how much more you could want. And then, as an extra added bonus, ice cream topping, you've got Bonifon with those 2 big runs. One of them was a huge touchdown run. That's really encouraging. And I'm talking specifically for the reasons of Christian McCaffrey had a issue where I believe it was his ankle, maybe? Or a cramp or something. I'm not too concerned at the moment. I don't think it's going to develop into anything, but you never know. Just keep keep an eye on your phones, folks. You never know. You might get that notification about his health status. And, I'm not going to roll out a video just for that. But for the specific reason of Bonifon was able to do some work in this game. And it was encouraging to see that he could fill in when Christian McCaffrey can't go out there and take care of business, So, you got Norv wanting to limit Christian's snap counts a little bit. And it's really great to know that Bonifon is going to be able to step up and fill those roles when Christian McCaffrey is either gasping for air, whenever he does eventually gasp for air. At this point, he looks like a freaking human oxygen tank out there. So, I mean, so it's really encouraging that Bonifant is going to be able to step up. And I think we limit Christian's snap counts next week in London against the Bucks. And kind of let him heal a little bit. Just in case he does have something more than just cramps. I hope that's all it was. I really, really, genuinely do hope that's all it was. But that put the fear of God in everybody that's a Panthers fan this week. I will say that. Uh, my heart stopped. I can tell you that much. Because if that guy goes down, we're in deep, deep trouble. But not as deep as we thought it would be. Since apparently Bonifant is going to step up and take care of business. So hopefully, that continues. So I got to give the running backs an A plus overall. Moving on to wide receiver, B plus. I felt like we got some people open today against that Jacksonville secondary. It's a little bit weaker than it was last year. So we were able to slide in some open receivers and get people to spots where we could get them the ball. In particular, Jarius Wright and Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. So, my thought is that, if we continue that trend against Tampa Bay, we should be just fine. And Jacksonville's secondary was about as potent as Tampa Bay's. Well, did I get that sentence right? I hope I did. If I didn't, Jacksonville's defense is as potent as Tampa Bay's defense, secondary-wise. So hopefully I got that correct. My brain's just, every once in a while. So I hope I got that correct. But yeah, I do feel like we do have other weapons besides Chris Hogan, who went down with a knee injury, to take everybody's eyes off of Christian McCaffrey. And, they're still going to double up Greg Olsen. That's going to be a thing. And that's half the reason Greg didn't get any catches today. He did drop a couple. One of them was pass interference, which they didn't call, by the way. And I was very grumpy about that. But I'll let that go, since we do have other weapons, and I'm not as concerned about that. So, that being said, that covers the tight ends, who are a B in ratings-wise on my scale. Which brings me to the offensive line. Can we buy Dennis Daly a steak dinner? This man just saved our behinds from the fire that would have been 2 and 3. Of course, we don't know how good he is until we test him against division. But honestly, I feel like he did solve the problem. I don't know whether he was originally a guard or whether he's listed as a left tackle. I do know he's listed as a left tackle for this game. So, you be the judge of that. Either way, Dennis, you just saved our behinds. And for that, we thank you. You just saved our season, dude. No joke. You just saved our season. So, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you so much. I don't even know how to say thank you enough times properly for you to really understand how much we appreciate it. For those of us that have been concerned about left tackle position, because that gives us now Greg Little and now Dennis Dowey at left tackle. Perfect. That's two. I'd prefer three, but that's okay. As long as we get two solid ones, we can survive. If anybody knows the status of Greg Little, you know, anything that could be helpful, send it my way. In the comment section, I'll check it out. And I'll be sure to be checking the comment section this week to probably keep an eye on that, because that's a really crucial developing story that we need to keep an eye on for this team, because it could mean downhill shift or it could mean uphill shift for our team. And Dally was the difference today in that. I didn't see much pressure coming from the left side. You know, Jacksonville's pass rush isn't really that great. It's, I want to say, average. They shifted all their focus to the right side, which is fine. You know, we do have people on the right side, so I have zero problem with that. And even with Trey Turner out, I feel like we're still okay. But that being said, you know, this team sometimes feels like you're plugging holes in a John boat. You know what I'm saying? For people that understand how that works and have been out on a John boat fishing before, you guys will probably understand this reference. Because you try to plug holes and you end up with two more holes. You try to plug those holes, you end up with two more holes somewhere else. You know, that's how this team has felt for the past, how many years, right? Y'all get that, right? But we can rest easy knowing that the offensive line is fixed for this week and for next week going into the bye week. That should give Greg Little a little time to rest as well. So that makes me very, very happy and encouraged that if we put Dennis in at left tackle next week in London, we should be just fine. So I won't be concerned about that. And when you start fixing the lines, good things follow. So going into the defensive line, they got good run stops for most of the game. Fournette did get a few up the middle, but it wasn't that big of a concern to where, you know, he didn't get these huge, massive runs that some of these other running backs have gotten this year. So that means we're starting to close those gaps a little bit. Probably not enough to be satisfactory, but we got it done. That's what matters. We stopped him enough to get it done. You know, Fournette's always going to be a weapon at wide receiver. He's going to be a weapon just like Christian McCaffrey was. You know, you just have to find ways to contain him and make sure he doesn't get those big yardage plays. So the defensive line push, I wasn't thrilled about the D-line push, but we did get enough pressure on their quarterback to make a difference, if that makes sense, to where he was starting to rethink where he was throwing the ball. But it's not enough, because he started slicing our secondary a little bit. And it's something we got to look at for sure in the future, but not right now. I don't feel like it's one of the holes in the John boat right now. It's not a major priority right now. It's just something that we need to look at in the future. But defensive end is next. I give the D line a B. You know, it wasn't great, but it wasn't spectacular either. So B. Defensive ends B minus. I felt like we got enough pressure again to disrupt their system and to make them start throwing it towards Bradbury and his side of the field. So that was a very, very strong positive. When you start making these quarterbacks throw towards Bradbury's side of the field, it forces these wide receivers, to try to beat Bradbury one-on-one, and Bradbury's got safety help over the top with Trey Boston, so he should be fine. Trey's going to be there to tackle these guys before they start getting big yardage plays, if they somehow get past Bradbury. Which Bradbury did an excellent job leading into the corners section of this. Excellent job. B minus. I felt like Ross Cockrell came in 50-50. 50-50 with Ross. He had moments where his coverage was trash. He had moments where his coverage was okay. He also had moments where his tackling was a little less than desired, and also moments where it was just fine, And we're looking at lukewarm performance from Ross, which is fine. That's fine. We knew that they were going to target him from the very beginning and cause him problems over there. So that's not a surprise. What also isn't a surprise is that they were going to attack Shaq Thompson and the linebackers over the middle. Luke Kuechly had it handled. Shaq has trouble with coverage. Trey Boston had trouble with coverage. So the cleanup crew wasn't really there for a good chunk of the game. So we need to see some improvement there. But Shaq occasionally would get blocked or not have a chance to get to Fournette in this game, and that was kind of a concern. I kind of give him a pass for those, but I don't at the same time, if that makes sense, because we need that run stop. We need it. Poe did get involved with the defensive tackles. Vernon Butler got a tackle as well. He got involved. But the main thing being, we held the run to a containable number where we could start focusing on the pass and start focusing on pass coverages, which is good. So, that being said, free safety Trey Boston. At times, I love him because he comes up in key positions, key times where he takes care of business, and other times, he looks like a lazy slacker jogging on the field. Talking specifically about that touchdown that he gave up. You're looking at a left corner of the end zone, deep pass from about 20 yards out. He beat out whoever was supposed to be on him. I think that was Cockrell's side of the field, if I'm not mistaken. And here comes Mr. Trey Boston. Oh, let's just jog across the end zone and not even pay him any mind. Are you serious, dude? Trey. I dogged you during halftime, man. I got to say that, man. I got to throw you under the bus for that one, man. That was just. You can't be jogging in a red zone defense, man. What are you thinking? You don't jog in a red zone defense. You're better than that, dude. I love you, but you're better than that. Show some effort, man. Show some discipline. Throughout the rest of the game, not just key moments, but throughout the rest of the game. If you played like that, like you do in key moments, and get those pass deflections in key moments, imagine what you could do in all 4 quarters, man. Just imagine. Just imagine, dude. I love you, man, but you got to step it up. All right? We gave up too many good passes. There was the other one where you, Eric Reed, and I forget who was the other guy. There were 3 guys out there in deep safety positions that were a country mile down the field from where their wide receiver was, wide open, easily catchable ball. I mean, it was just, you could fit an entire circus in that radius. Seriously. What are you thinking? I don't know who called that defensive coverage, but that was trash. That was just pure trash. And I hope I never see that again. Eric Reed took care of business and covered for you in certain situations, Trey. But I do give you the B minus grade. You did come up in clutch situations, so I'll give you that, man. You did. Eric Reed took care of business today. Did his thing. I thought he was rolled out, but he wasn't. He was in. And, in those big clutch moments, he got it done. I don't know what else to say. He got it done. He came up for run stops. He was there for pass deflections. He was just there, period. I never had any reason to throw him under the bus. So, definitely an A minus for him today. Excellent job. Room for improvement. But great job. Great job. You were a clutch man today. Before I get to the special teams, I want to say a special thank you to Brian Burns today with that scoop and score. Woo! Spider Burns, man. Spider Burns. Can we just... Wow. Can we just give that man some love? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I hope his hand's okay. Maybe the next 2 weeks they'll give him some time to rest. Surely we got somebody behind him that's good. So, I would limit him next week. And we'll see if he can get some rest and heal up. But so far, I think he's earned that time to do that. Getting to the special teams, D. And I'm not talking about Ray McLeod. I'm talking about everybody but Ray McLeod. That's where my head is right now. That special teams line was pure garbage today. I don't know what y'all did, but when you have to make Joey Sly rethink his kicks and start kicking them to the right because you can't be bothered to block properly on special teams. Oh, Lord. Coach, get on him, man. Get on him. There's no excuse for that. Now, I will say this. They tried to take my man Ray Ray's head off in this game. Twice. Twice. And I'm not cool with that. I don't know what y'all got against Ray Ray, man, but y'all gotta chill. Ray Ray was about to... He about wanted to fight somebody today. I don't blame him. But he held himself in check, and I'm proud of him. That is the type of person I like on this team. You know, he was coached not to be that type of person or that type of player. And I'm proud of him. I give him his respect. I give him his due. He did well today. While we're talking about special teams, Pilardi pinned Jaguars inside the 10 on the last drive. Pilardi. Punters don't get very many chances to shine, man. You got to give him his due right here. That man just kept us alive for that win. Thank you, Pilardi. We wouldn't have been able to be where we are without him in that game. They could have possibly tied that thing up, went to overtime. You just never know. You never know. But because we pinned them inside the 10, they never got to find out. And we never got to find out. So that's good. Which leads me to coaching, clock management, timeouts, perfectly done. Perfectly done. Exactly how I would have done it to a T. Great job, Ron. I don't hand out praise to you very often lately, but I'm giving you that. I'm giving the dog a bone because he's earned it. Play calling, A-. Coaching, A-. I felt like there were a few plays where we could have cleaned it up on play calling. I don't necessarily support the 4th and 1 try. Now that I'm thinking about it, at first I was like, riverboat. And then later on I'm just thinking, maybe that wasn't the wisest move. Maybe we should have kicked it. Who knows how that game would have changed. But at the same time, we couldn't rely on Joey Sly either because he had missed 2 field goals to that point. You got to think about that. He missed 2 field goals and an extra point to that point. So you cannot rely on him at that point in the game. So I do feel like going for it at that point in the game was the right decision. We may not have had the right play call. That's fine. That run play worked earlier with Christian McCaffrey, so I don't blame him for trying that. Worth a shot, 1 yard, right? I personally would have called a draw, but that's me, Not that I want to see Christian McCaffrey get killed up the middle, but I do feel like maybe Arma or Christian could have gotten that first down just up the middle. Or maybe a Curtis Samuel sweep. That's the play that was working earlier for us. And we had a lot of success with it. We just have to pick and choose our times to use it. I feel like that's a great play in our playbook right now. We have to keep the eyes on Christian McCaffrey before we use it. A good chunk of the time. Before we use it. So, that being said, I think that's a very powerful tool in our arsenal. Curtis Samuel is a very powerful weapon for us. And if we use him correctly, he could be an even more powerful weapon for our offense. We just have to be smart and choose our times wisely. that being said, final thoughts. I think we may have solved our problem at left tackle. We'll see. We'll see once we test him against the Falcons and the Saints whether he's quality or not. We do have Green Bay on our schedule, so we'll see how that all pans out. But hopefully in the next 2 weeks, Greg Little will get healthy and we'll be able to use him. But Dennis Dowley, what a save today. The new problem is definitely the special teams. We'll have to look into that, see what's going on there. But like I said, holes in the John boat, right? Once you fix one, the problem goes to the other side. So I have no idea where to really start. But the fact that we've started to fix this line is a very, very good sign for the future going forward. And let's see if we can get a 4-2 record before bye week. Let's see if it happens, folks. I think it can. We're approaching that 6th week now, and we're on track for the 9 wins, at least. So, if we can keep this going, we can get 10 wins at most, I believe, and potentially win the division. We don't have to deal with the Falcons right now. They don't have an offensive line. The Saints are highly dangerous, and the Buccaneers are starting to drop. So this is our opportunity coming into these 2 matchups against the Saints to really leave our mark and try to win the division right there with those 2 games right there. If we can pull them off, or at least one, we've got a shot. So that's my post game for the Jaguars versus Panthers, Week 5. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to hit that like button, sub button, and the bell so you don't miss any new content. And leave a comment down below if you feel so inclined to do so. Let me know what you think. Did we solve the left tackle problem? What's our issue with special teams? Is it a good idea to rest Christian McCaffrey next week? What's your take? What snap count should he get? I want to hear your opinions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and keep pounding. We got that win, 34-27 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go, 3-2. We have resurrected this season, and we're back, baby. Keep pounding.